Hi everybody, Colin here from Colin's Engage. Hope you're all well. It's just a little update of me twitching on of things what have gone wrong and right. Apologies for not doing the next stage of the tunnel mouth. I've just been so busy, and there's, like I say, you'll see what I've been up to, and there's only so many hours in a day to work and do stuff, and I still like running trains no matter what. Every now, I don't do anything to lay out, I just run trains to watch. So this is just an update of what's been going on. Right then, so what's been happening? The first thing, I have no turntable. Now that isn't a manufacturing issue. It's broke, but it's not a manufacturing problem. It was my big German Shepherd's problem. He came blundering in, like he does, and turned around, knocked something over, and it pulled on the power supply, and then basically ripped the socket off the PCB board, which then it didn't work anymore. So I've had to take it out. This is the beauty of having this piece of MDF, because it just clips. To take it out, it drops down, because the track overhangs the edge of the turntable, which is on there. So this bit here comes out, and then it pushes up. You bolt it on with these wing nuts, and it'll be back in. Now, by chance, I heard from Alistair. He's sorted it all out from the looks of it, and he's just testing it before sending it back, which I'm very grateful for. Okay, I'm gonna have to pay for it to be repaired, but like I say, it's just one of those things. Shouldn't have let the dog in. Dog could have backed out, but he decided to turn, and there's not much room anyway. Never mind, these things happen. It's been sorted. So another thing what I have come across, I have bought engines off eBay. Now, that and that one was sold as DCC ready, and unfortunately they're not. That one, the outer body is from a different loco. I wanted to have the body working on a motor what was already DCC ready, so I've just swapped it. So all those four were sold as DCC ready, and they're not. It's just that it can be put into DCC by soldering onto the clips, the 6 little points on the PCC board. Now, I had a go with a carless rail. Excuse me. That one, made a hash of it. I had to get someone to sort it, and they did. So I thought, well, I'm not going to do these, but it's over a year since I made a hash of that. I thought I'd got better, so I'd have a go. And that one I soldered a chip with wires on direct to the PCC board, and it works. That one I put a harness in and then put a chip in, and that works. So I'm going to do that one and that. Now that one, where the actual point is for soldering to, the 3 points have been all soldered together, so it could be used as a DCC, because there was no little clips. And I think the clips, if I just go in here, that is a clip what goes onto the PCC board, and there's two to make 2 sets of 3, and it makes it actually work. I think that's actually upside down, so if I turn it over, no, that's the right way up, sorry. So there's 2 of them on each board, which makes it work as a DC loco. So that one I'm going to have to do a bit more work to. So, you know, I wish people would tell the truth on eBay, but that's the gamble. They might think they're telling the truth, that it's DCC ready, but as engaged people know, and probably 00 people, it either is or it isn't, and they aren't, or they weren't. Those 2 were working, but the other 2 aren't. So I've got that problem to sort out. But this is all about doing things on your model railway and getting excited when things go right, and you just got to keep a stiff upper lip when it doesn't. Now, another thing I have actually finished is my fiddle yard area. I have 13 lines to store stuff on 2 levels. One is from that point down there. That one goes into the down lower fiddle yard, and that line and that point goes into the upper. Now you're going to notice that that upper one is on a slope. The reason for that is so I can get my hand underneath if I need to. So just to try and help it. So the top level will always have an engine attached, so it doesn't roll backwards. The lower level, if I want to just store coaches or wagons, then that's dead level, so that'll be fine. There is not forgetting there is a farm scene, which that is the board, not done out with it. So that is a job in the future. It's a fiddle yard, it's not going to be out fancy, but it has made a big difference storing all them. So at the moment it's in a bit of a mess because there's just engines everywhere because of having no turntable. So that will get tidied in the next couple of weeks. Now then, something else I have done. Let me sit down. I have this new panel. Now the idea is, if you remember a past video, these switches are to zone and help turn the power on. Just to recap, let me make sure that if I try and turn the controller on, it keeps fusing out. It tries to come on, but it can't because of the amount of locos on, even though there's a lot off. So I zoned it with switches. Now if I come to turn it on, it stays on. And then if I just move to this loco, because this is in zone 1, when I flick the switch, it comes on. So that is zone 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now you may have heard a American train start up, because all American trains, or the 4 sound ones I've got, all start up the sound. Now that to me, I've turned it off now, that to me is a bit silly, because if you're a train driver and the train is stuck in a siding, it's not going for you. You've got to get in the cab and, you know, start the engine. So why to do this? And that is reasons why it's taking a lot of power. So there's a couple of things I've done with my track system. I've put a new piece of track in there, and I've isolated it. So that steamer there, if I flick a switch, it's now got power and the sound's on. Now I can go through the controller and turn them all off before I turn the power on, or when I've turned the power on. But it's just, for me, it's a bit of a pain. It's a bit of a silly thing to do. But now I've got my fiddle yard, if I want to do stuff out there, and unfortunately something comes off and fuses, I've got to crawl back underneath here and flick the switches, turn that back on because the red light will have come on, flick them back on, crawl out. So I was thinking, that's a bit of a pain for my little knees. And I saw an advert in one of the model rail magazines for a guy who does switches for dolls' houses, of all things. And I thought, I wonder if I could use the switch panel to turn the power on and off when I'm stood out there in that little area there. So I gave the guy a ring. Kevin, his name is. Fantastic guy. Micro Miniatures, his company. And this was the panel I saw in the advert. And it is to turn on lights in dolls' houses. And I rang him and said, I've got a controller, and that's the box for it, what can produce up to 5 amps. Can I run it through it? And he went, no, 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 no. I went, thought that might be a case. But he said, tell me what you're wanting to do. So I did. And he says, right. He says, what we'll do is, and he wired it up ready. And these are the connections, zone 1, 2, 3 and 4. It says, I'll attach a relay to it. What you'll then do is, from basically the power supply. You'll run it into zone 1, into the first relay, and then from the relay to the switch, to the bus route. But what I decided to do was leave my switches in, because my switches also, if I have faults in the track work, I can zone it down to 4 and know only to look in a area, like say zone 4, there's a fault what keeps fusing my controller. So I needed to keep that. So it does that job. And if I'm in here, I just turn them on and off. Just the top row. I can leave the bottom, or I can leave the top and turn the bottom ones, whichever. And restart my power supply. But out there, I use this remote control. Now I can have up to 24 different switches, but only 8 on here. You can daisy chain 2 more of these to put lights in. So you just put your light in one, come out of the other, lights in, lights out, or whichever way around. So I've got 4 spare here. So if I wanted, I could have my container yard lights on zone 5, my steam yard area lights on zone 6, diesel yard on zone 7, and then I could have my station on zone 8, and then if I wanted to do more, just get an extension. But that will take switch up to 12 volts, not amps. So that's why he ran it through a relay. So if I'm out there and it fuses, I just press from 1 to 4. Those lights come on, and I can see that from out there, and that's saying there's no power going to the bus route. So I can press the button on the controller, because I'll have it out there because I'm moving stuff about, and then I just turn them, because it's now telling me it's ready to go. And while I'm out there, it's turned all the power back on. Hence, the lights are on that train, and there's one, my Pendolino over here. So that is going to save me crawling around and stuff like that. So, because what the idea is, I've got 3 lines, as you may remember, and if I'm wanting to bring something out, say on the top one, I can bring it out and store it on the slope. And then as the thing's going around here, I can take it in to one of the lines and then take the one in here onto that loop. Or I can send it round, which will go around there while the other one is going round here, round all this track here, down and onto the down line, which is there. So that's a good thing. Or if I wanted, I could take something from the top and take it down and back it out to go onto the upline. But if I was wanting to do something on the lower level while stuff is going round, I can back it out straight into here. or that one, depending which way round it's going. But what I may do is I may put a point in here and divert, just alter this area a little bit and put a loop to join on to the upline there. So I can actually keep them going while backing out. But if not, I can just store it in here and back one out and then do whatever I want. So if anything goes wrong out there, I can get to the switches by that remote control, and I think that is a blessing. So I have switches to do it in here while I'm in the middle, and that will be on the outside to do it from out there. Because unfortunately things do come off, it does fuse, you know, when you're backing out over points or driving over points. Sometimes it happens. So little things like that make it a lot easier. It was fairly expensive, but worth every penny for my knees. And that's what it is about, making life easy for you. So that's what I've been up to. I apologise for not doing anything on the tunnel mouth to show you. It's just that I've been rather busy. I've had this turntable problem. I've been doing other things, but I have actually put on, whatever it is, into a bit of light. I have put the first bit of stonework around the top, so that I'm very pleased with. So I've got to do the bottom and then do the other, and then start working out the next stage to show you. But apologies for not getting on with that. But you can't do everything. You know, you got to work, you got to earn money, to pay bills, to get little things for your layout. So you just got to do what you can do when you can do it. So thank you very much for putting up with me twittering on. Now another little problem I've had, while I remember, is that 33, the speaker blew. It went very fuzzy. So I know the guy at CI Signals who actually put that in for the person I bought it off, and he supplied another speaker and I soldered that back in. So I was pleased about that. So just the 3 trains running around just to show you. A banana train without any coaches. Well, it's got a coach, but it's the wrong one. And this is what I love doing. It's just having stuff running around, watching it, listening in this case to 33. But this is what it's all about. I've got the flashing light. All the rubbish everywhere. Just have to put up with that, I'm afraid. So I hope that was interesting for you, just to listen to what problems have gone on. If I can remember, before I put the turntable back in, I'll show you the bit what I've disconnected. It's just one of them things. These things happen. So please all stay safe, look after yourselves, enjoy your model railway, and anybody new, please do hit the subscribe button and the like. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed, very grateful, and I'll speak to you very soon. Okay, bye.